So we have a quorum, so I want to welcome everybody to the joint meeting for the Rules and Open Government Committee and Committee of the Whole. And Tony, can we have a roll call, please?
Arenas? Cohen?
Here.
Davis?
Sorry, yeah, here.
Thank you. Davis?
Here.
Jones?
Present.
Oh, Peralez. I forgot to call him, but he's absent.
Okay. So we have one agenda to review, and that's for Tuesday, November 15th. And we're going to start out on pages Let's start on pages 4 and 5. Six and 7. 8 and 9. 10 and 11. 12 and 13. 14 and 15. And 16 and 17. And that is it. I don't see an ad sheet. Before we go to public comments, I'm going to ask Lee from the City Manager's Office about load balancing. And has this agenda been reviewed and properly load balanced?
Yes, it has, Vice Mayor. A few points. We have this meeting, November 29th, December 6th, and December 13th. At this point, we will be recommending 11 a.m. start times for the final 4 meetings. Closed session will start at 9:30, and staff, to ensure that we're utilizing the council's best time, will be pushing some items to consent.
Okay. Thank you. All right, we'll go to public comments.
Blair?
Hi, Blair Beekman here. I'll be in town all week, and today I'm on Zoom. Hi. The two items I wanted to bring up that are part of the council agenda for next week are in the eights, the items in the eights, 8.1, 2, and 3, I think, are items of downtown high-rise issues, and following is how to address the future of unhoused issues in San Jose. A real good luck to yourselves how to kind of bring these two concepts together in the future planning of a city, and what can be relief and how to help house the unhoused with downtown high-rise building. We really have to consider those practices, and not just the overall ideas of market rate housing is the answer and solution to everything. That's what this sort of meeting will be about next week. Hopefully, good luck in working on that issue. And you have an item about downtown transportation planning for the future. Man, this can be an awesome item to really go into what the previous mayoral administration, now or soon to be previous mayoral administration, was really made an honest, good attempts to strive for into how to build a future of less cars and less single occupancy vehicle cars, and focus on different ways of transit into the downtown area. Real good luck how you can make that clear tomorrow or next week. It'll be so interesting, not just for San Jose, but for South Santa Clara County cities, and for where I live in San Diego as well. I think it'll be, hopefully you can accomplish that effort. And be considering open accountable practices as well as technology for the future of downtown. Thank you.
Caller 1324.
Yes, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. These high-rise, giving these developers the ability to purchase look, let me give you an example. Last week, you allowed these developers to buy back their homes at $180,000. That's what you did. Okay, those high-rises, so they made profit on both ends. Number one, they got $9 million tax break from you, which we need the money at this particular time. We ain't got the bread to be giving billionaires tax breaks. That's number one. Number two is that they're also profiting from the ability to buy back that unit at $180,000. That's sickening. And then they're going to turn around and they're going to sell it at market rate prices. This is the con. It's got to stop, man. It just has to stop. You people, all of you, accepted responsibility and accountability for your failures last year. You guys openly stated that it was your failures that contributed to those 5 deaths on the street. Yet there has been no policy since that time that has ever reflected that accountability. Nothing. You just skip over this stuff while people are dying on the streets. And you just think, well, we'll just ignore Paul Soto. We'll just keep ignoring him. Impossible. You can't ignore me. I'm going to make certain that you do not ignore me, ever. And so I'm concerned about the citizens of this city that continue to suffer under the weight of your incompetence, your inadequacy, and your sheer indifference to the suffering of the citizens that you say that you represent. I'm done.
Back to the committee.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
I have a question, Vice Mayor.
Oh, just go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. So I see that we and heard from Lee that we're planning to start at 11. Will we still have closed session? And will it be a short enough closed session for those of us who travel between closed and open to get here?
Thank you, Council Member. We do have a closed session planned for next week. There's one item that we need to bring in, but we don't have labor, so I'm looking at whether or not we can get an extension of time and maybe bring it the following week. Well, there won't be the following week, but the end of the month.
Right.
But otherwise, it will be a short closed session, and we're trying to keep them short.
Okay.
Because of the 11 o'clock start.
Perfect. Great. Thank you. I'll move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Tony?
Arenas,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes.
Jones.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Next item is the consent calendar. So we'll go to public comments.
Blair,
Hi, Blair Beekman here. I guess there are two items on the consent I wanted to mention. You have work plan items for PISFIS. I wanted to mention it's about procurement of financial things. And I just wanted to remind yourselves that, the city of Berkeley and its community in the past year both have worked together to work on more accountable open public policies and civil protection ideas with their AOPR use and commercial data collection things. And it's with that, and part of that work, I think, is part of a procurement process, or it should be, and it can be, that to work towards a civil protection future with technology in the procurement process. I just thought I would mention it at this time. Seems something worth mentioning as for how the procurement process can work better for ourselves in the future. And with that said, I wanted to mention the city auditor's report. That it's time for his monthly report, and it's a great item that we have each month. And the list, as usual, it explains like many projects that the city is working on. Assignments completed include the Bill of Rights for Children and Youth, COVID-19 recovery expenditures. Assignments in process are ideas of, let's see here, clean energy, compliance reviews of clean energy, and firearm regulatory processes and policies. And to conclude, projects for the future include city tree planting and language accessibility. So a real good luck how we want to talk about these things. It's good work. Thanks.
Paul,
With respect to PISFIS, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe, with respect to PISFIS, I'd like to, within this work plan, I'd like to discuss because number one, the LA Times reported on April 30th of 2022 the abuse of authority that these cops were over there mocking a Vietnamese woman, saying that she probably is gambling, she's probably short and skinny, probably has a bad teeth. These were reported in the LA Times, not the Mercury News. They ain't got the gumption to cover this. Okay, so what happened with that anyway? What happened with those cops? Or what about the still we had this masturbating cop inside of the house of somebody that had called for a domestic violence call. Okay, what happened with that? What happened with that issue? You think that just because you fired the cop, that's it? Ya basta?
Hey, Paul.
It's done. It's over with.
Hey, Paul.
What about, no, I'm talking about this work plan. You want to deal with the cops? You guys finance the cops? That's my money. So I'm talking about the this work plan. And you are pushing this to the consent calendar. Okay, because you're not allowing discussion on it. So I'm speaking on it. I'm talking about items that I want included on it as a citizen. I have an absolute right to do that. I have a constitutionally protected right to do that. Do not interfere with my right. Are we clear? Are we clear?
Keep going.
call-in user 1.
Yeah, hi, Martha O'Connell speaking on my letter in the public record. Last week, a member of the public stated that the City Council should require that citizens who want to speak provide their names. And this is not the first time that such demands have been made. Several times last year, folks were demanding that people give their full names. I've provided you with case law from the First Amendment Coalition, which clearly shows that this is constitutionally suspect. But I'd like to speak now from a personal perspective. I don't appreciate after I speak at rules, I get a phone call from somebody who is screaming at me over the telephone and wanting to engage me and arguing with something that I said. And when I try to terminate the conversation, the man, just screams louder. I don't appreciate seeing two ladies who spoke at a council meeting followed down the corridor in City Hall, called the devil, and being yelled at by a so-called homeless advocate who didn't agree with what they said. I don't appreciate someone coming into around my house yelling at me for something that I said at rules. So these things have happened to me. They have happened to other people. So I encourage you, and I thank the clerk who has changed the speaker cards to make it absolutely clear that giving your name and your address is optional. So we need to protect free speech, and we need to protect people who take positions with which certain people disagree. I am not threatened by other people's opinion. I have never yelled at anybody. I've never stalked anybody. So please protect free speech and let people speak anonymously if that is their desire.
Back to the committee.
I'll move approval of consent.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Don't see any hands raised or people wanting to speak. So, Tony?
Arenas,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes.
Peralez,
Yes.
Jones.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, on to open forum.
Blair?
Hi, Blair Beekman here. Thanks for the meeting today. To offer a few thoughts from the meeting yesterday. Paul Soto mentioned, at the beginning of the meeting, the concept of meeting minutes and how, an additional few sentences to really practice how to do that well. It can be actually very descriptive and still, working within the rules of what meeting minutes should be like. And it's taking that extra step that I think is incredibly important. I'm trying to teach that and learn that actually with agencies like Bayuwasi, who have the same problem with their meeting minutes. They're very dry, and they offer no way to understand what was said at public comment time, and it's really needed. And a few simple words, a few simple sentences really can add to that. And the city government, you guys know how to do that well already. It's just a matter you fell out of good practices how to do that. The VTA does a pretty good job, consistent good job of doing that. I look to them for reminders, and I've been learning to read up on Brown Act things, and Martha O'Connell is correct. The public really has a right to be anonymous in this process. We should be accountable to that. It's decent practices, and it's from that I wanted to once again offer that I think we really need to practice in San Jose better Brown Act rules around how the public should have the right to speak if they want on closed session items and on the city manager's report each week. I hope we can work on that issue together. I mean, I've written you several letters on the subject, how to address it, ways to address it, and I think we can. And we can do it in a way that's both efficient for the meeting and yet offers public comment time for people. That's the key. I think we can do it. Good luck how we can do that, and thanks for the meeting today.
Paul?
Yes, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. The greatest acts of violence is not done in the sordid dens of crime that Dostoevsky loved to paint. It's not done even in concentration camps, psych wards, or prisons. In these, we see its final results. But it is conceived, ordered, moved, seconded, carried, and then minuted in clean carpeted, warmed offices, well lit, by quiet men with white collars and cut fingernails and smooth shaven cheeks who do not need to raise their voice. Hence, naturally enough, my symbol for hell is something like the bureaucracy of a police state or offices of developers and corporations. It was in offices like these with men dressed like that conceived children to undertake crippling work with short-handled hoes in the agricultural fields of San Jose, California, and other parts of the state. And the sight of returning children with spines permanently bent from labor remained all too common throughout the mid-1940s in the 1960s. You deal with that, San Jose. You have yet to point to the day where I can honor and revere that you have amended this crime against humanity. Point to the day that I may honor it. It doesn't exist. So you can cancel your racial equity definitions because they're meaningless. They have absolutely no weight at all. And I'm going to start demanding that you start including something equivalent to a CEQA analysis in these documents that prove and show that you have taken it through a racial equity analysis in order to show that you are actually applying the racial equity principles that you so eloquently espouse. I'm done.
Back to the committee.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.